Do you have someone that you obsess over all the time? Meaning that, your thoughts throughout the day seem to go back to that person over and over again, and you don't like it. You know that you're leaking a lot of energy and you just hate it, but you can't stop. You can't stop yourself from going back there. It's almost like a part of you has this perverse need to go there, and it almost gets high on it. And sometimes what happens also that in your life, they seem to come back to you. They almost feel like these people you're obsessing over, they come back to you over and over again. And so if you are in a situation like that, here I'll explain why that happens, and I'll tell you two ways to heal it, right? Because you don't want to live like that, because if you are leaking energy, if you feel that there's so much that you're drained by that, that's a very important information, because it's telling you that you are putting your energy where you shouldn't be putting it. You're putting your energy into something that is not nourishing you. It's not, it's not something that is giving something back to you. And so this is your first information telling you this is not the way. However, if you start separating yourself from that experience, it's going to get even worse, because you'll start going back to it, right? Because what is happening in that moment is that for me, this is really what we call trauma, right? It's not really about the person themselves, about that person, but it's about something that is taking you back to a wound. Now, what I mean by that is that when you're going back over and over again with your thoughts, with your mind, it's because a part of you only feels safe when they are there with that person. When this part needs to be vigilant. It needs to know what that person is doing. It needs to know what is happening out there, what is happening around that person, in order for it to feel safe. Because for that part of you, that person is very unpredictable. And that unpredictability makes it so that you can be in danger, that they will come up with something that then you will have to pay for the consequences. So the fact that you're going back there, it's that part's way of keeping you safe. And it's that part going back and saying, okay, let's see what they're doing. And based on that, we can come up with strategies, with ways to keep safe, right? So you see, it's not that you're going there because you're crazy. It's not that you're going there because there's something wrong about you, but you're going back there because that's the only way you can feel safe. Because a part of you feels that that person is so unpredictable, that situation is so unpredictable, that at any time you will be attacked. There will be something that will happen, and then you'll have to pay the consequences of it. So the only way is to be there, hyper vigilant, and to be hyper attentive, and to know what they're doing, so as to keep safe, right? So as to keep yourself safe. So that's usually what happens. And when I'm telling you this, it's because I want you to start understanding this part, right? And so I want you to take this information, and based on this, tell yourself, is it true? is what she's saying true? And go towards it and start seeing what is happening, if this is really true, right, for you. Because that's the most important thing. There's a lot of information around, but the most important part is for you to connect with yourself, and then based on that connection to know what your truth is. And how you can do that is that you've already noticed yourself that when you run away from that situation, when you tell yourself you shouldn't be obsessing, when you tell yourself you shouldn't be thinking about that person, when you berate yourself, what happens is that it doesn't work, right? You still go back. So if this is not working, try the opposite. Well, go towards it. So take that trigger. What is your trigger? Is there a moment in time when you see yourself with that person, or what is it that comes up? And instead of it coming and haunting you, you go towards it, which means that you sit down and you consciously take that trigger back to you in your mind's eye. And when you do that, all the triggers, you'll start feeling it in your body. And when you feel it in your body, take a few breaths in and start letting it just happen in your body. Let it just be there. So what you're doing is that you're slowly going back to, you're connecting with the part of you that is obsessing, right? For whom this strategy of going back to that person is what is keeping it safe. So you're going towards it. Now you're feeling into that, and maybe there are some constrictions around, and you just let it be, because that part is hyper vigilant. It's like this, all the time. So by you being with it, suddenly what you're doing is like, it's almost like you become the parent that holds it. And so you're showing it slowly that it is safe with you, right? And that's why you can't do it just once, obviously. Because it's been hyper vigilant and going like this, for years now, right? So you give it time, and I don't even have to tell you this. At some point, it will come very naturally, because you'll just love that part, right? Because you will understand what it's doing for you. And it's just heartbreaking to see how these parts are doing their best, and they're so misunderstood by us, right? And in that moment, you understand them, and it's just, you're just there for them. You're like, go on, you can do this forever. I'm there. I love it. And so you do that, and you let it just, slowly release that tension, And so as you do that, you'll start going slowly, it will open up, because it's not like this anymore. So it will open up, and it will show you that the wound that is behind it, and maybe there's an image that comes on. Maybe sometimes it's not even images, because it comes from when you are very small. So it's just a feeling, a sensation, whatever it is. Just let it happen, let it go through. And maybe you'll have like past experiences that will come up where you felt like this, where you were so scared. But anyways, all this, when it happens, it's just about you being with that. And what you're doing is that slowly you're teaching yourself, you're teaching parts of you that you are safe, that you have got it, that you're not a child anymore, that you can handle it, right? And you do that more and more. And as I said, give it time, like let it take, it's really a part of it. It's a wound. You can't just, scrape your, your knee or something like that, and bandage it or whatever you do with it, first aid, whatever. And then the next day, look at it and say, why are you still red? Why didn't you heal? It's doing its healing, and it takes a little bit of time, and sometimes it will sting, and sometimes it will look ugly, and it will take the time that it takes. But the more you connect with it, the more you're connecting with yourself, the easier that will be. So that's why at the beginning, just give it time, and then naturally you will completely and unconditionally be with it, because you will be so in love with it. So yeah, so that's one thing. The second thing is that if you're going back over and over again to this person, it's because in your mind you think that there's no other type of relationship, that there's only this, that humanity is only about this, right? That there's nothing else. And so you're not focusing also on the type of relationship that you want to have. And because of that, there's this lack, right? There's this void here. And so, we're relational beings, so automatically we have to relate with someone. And so that's the second reason why you go back there, because there's nothing else. And so you need to fill that void. Whilst you're doing this first exercise, it needs to be done both ways. The two have to come together, right? So the second exercise is that you start asking yourself what type of people you want to have in your life. What is it that you like? And it can be, and start getting inspired by the people around you, even people on YouTube, even people that are dead. It can be even, I don't know, Gandhi or whatever. It doesn't really matter. The most important part is that they will come, and they're already coming in your mind. You will feel attracted to certain types of people. And it's not really about the person, it's about the values that they have. It's about what they're giving, right? And so start really opening up to that and seeing who inspires you, who makes you feel good, who lifts you up, and what is it about them that makes you just open up and get so inspired and want to do so many things, right? And you see, the opening up, it means that you feel safe, right? So take them and start focusing on that energy. Take that energy, put it together, right? And start focusing. And you can even start asking yourself, what is it that I really like about that? And become clear about it. And it's almost like you're putting together all that energy, right? And now, based on that energy, you will create something else, or you will attract other people into your life. Or maybe those people are already there, but because you're so focused here, you're not seeing them, right? Because you just can't see them in that moment. And so, yeah, and so do that. Like, really start looking at the people that inspire you, and start becoming clear about what you want, what kind of people you want to focus on, what kind of people you want to have in your life. And as you become, in your mind's eye, inside of you, in your imagination, as you become filled up, as you feel fulfilled, this energy will stop, because it will be very easy for you to go from this. You're taking the focus here, right? And as you do this, it's very empowering. It feels great, because suddenly it's like you're using every experience of yours, even an experience that makes you feel victimized, and you're using it to become that much more empowered. You're using it to become wiser. You're using it to create your own reality, right? So yeah. So number one, focus, like really go towards why you are obsessing over them. Go towards the trigger, understand it, see that it's keeping you safe. and see what is, become one with the part of you that is keeping you safe, and then start going into the wound so that you can heal it with your awareness, right? And you can understand what it is. And the second one, focus on people that inspire you, and whoever it is. And as I said, it can be someone that doesn't really exist, or someone even on YouTube. Just start looking at the values that they have and what makes you just feel alive. And so thanks to that, you'll take that focus onto something that you want. You'll take it from the unwanted to the wanted. So if you have any questions, any comments, let me know down below. Let me know how you deal with these kind of situations. And if you want to work, if you have someone you're obsessing over and you want to work with someone else, for example, me, then there's a link down below. And see you in the next video. Oh, and I always forget. Please subscribe, like. If you think that this content is important, then you doing that will help me get more, be more seen, right? So, ciao, ciao.